And welcome everybody. I see that we had like 3 people here, so I was like, you know what? I might as well start 20 whole seconds early. Oh, I know I came in so early. Anyways, um, done being a smart ass. All right, wow, that's starting to kick in. Okay, so anyways, anybody got their coffee going? Mm, I think I'm using way too much coffee because this stuff's way too strong. This stuff makes me want to come out of my skin. But as you see, I'm wearing fresh clothes. My beard's looking good. Um, I after I got back from working with my neighbor. What's up, Chris? What's up, Beth? Nice to see y'all. When I got back from working with my neighbor, what's up, Smoking? What's up, Occult? Nice to see y'all. Oh wow, we've got a lot of y'all piling in here. You guys get excited about this. What's up, Mitch? Um, you know what? I had a great day. If you guys oh, what's up? Oh, we got Prepper here. Farmer Prepper here? No? Okay, okay. Let's see here. What's up, Bucknut? Nice to see you. Looks like we got everybody coming in here. What's up, Tommy? Nice yeah, that's Tommy. All right. Because there's Tommy and Tammy. What's up, Occult? Okay. Thumbs up, folks. And don't forget to subscribe. Yes. There he is. Okay. Um, all right. So, um, all right. So yeah, if you watch the video that I put up today, it actually like he took me down to the waterfall, where it's all going, and he was telling me some stuff that's going on. My phone is only 20%. Okay, good to know, Bucknut. Um, but anyways, so I got to see some of the waterfalls. So I took some B-roll footage of that, and I got to go see another part of this area because he lives over in a different area. So I got to go see that today. It was kind of nice. Got to talk with him and his wife, but we didn't get any work done. You know what though? I kind of expect that whenever I go over. It's more like, hey, I'm gonna go over, I'm gonna hang out with them, but we're gonna pretend that I'm going over there for work. It's nice to be able to hang out with somebody in my neighborhood. I can't wait till more of you start moving. My cord is across the living room. Yeah, I know that's a lot of effort to get up there, Bucknut. But the intro to yes. Yeah, I had to mute the because we were talking in the background as I was doing it, so I had to mute that and then put a sound of the sound effects of a waterfall behind it, which is kind of neat. Okay, so but anyways, wow, we've got a lot of y'all in here tonight. Welcome, welcome. Okay, but that was something that so I wanted to make that as part of my video today. Yeah, that was nice. Having that, I'm gonna try and do that a little bit more often, and because it seems like it's taken off. Or at least it's getting me over that 30-second mark. Um, it was just a tiny bit of creativity. I know I don't have a lot of creativity, but it was a little bit of creativity. Um, Now, normally I'd be outside and stuff like that, but the winds were starting to pick up, and the area of the trailer where the shade is, because I don't want to be in the direct sun, that had so much wind coming in, I just decided to do it inside. So my wife, she's in the kitchen. Oh yeah, I know it's a good one. She's gonna. Oh, dude, uh, your wife must really love you. I bet you pay a price for it too. You at least get the look. So. Um, but just when just hold up a cup to her. Mm. Uh, the fact is she went and got it for you. That's good. Um, but it wasn't much. I mean, I got to go see parts of Concho, and get to see parts of my area. I get to see parts that are developed, parts that are not. The really off-road places. She must be a patient woman. Yes, she is. Bucknut's secret is he can lick his eyebrows. Oh dear God, don't go there. Please don't go there. Gene Simmons tongue. Um, but it was pretty fun. It was interesting. I enjoyed myself. And then I just came back, took a shower, started getting prepared for tomorrow. So I may be getting a burn barrel after all, which will be better than having to dig a hole. Not that I don't mind digging. Not that I mind digging a hole. Um, uh, This side conversation is so much more interesting than the one I'm talking about. This is, yeah, I mean, we're talking about patient women, and now all of a sudden we're on Gene Simmons' tongue. Okay. Uh, that's funny, but I don't know. It's been a pretty relaxing day. It was kind of nice. But yeah, I really like the falls. Sam and I are gonna have to take a day trip down there, and because I mean, we could probably get there in about an hour and a half if we walked, and then she could go play in the river or in the little stream and have some time, maybe even get a really good bath. Um, in New York City, it's 5K fine to burn trash. Well, yeah, that's because you're in a big city. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. Once the summer comes around, though, I won't be able to burn. Right now, because I asked about the burn laws around here, and yeah, I was told that I could burn right now, but then I may have to wait till after summer, wait till like I don't know, what is it called, wait till like fall, like after the monsoon season hits, because everything's going to be wet for a while. But he was telling me that these junipers were not native. People brought them in, and that one interesting thing is I don't know if because he was kind of not sure about it, but I was, and so I'm going to take it as fact until somebody tells me different. But um, he was telling me that this area right here was the first American city in Arizona. Now, this was one after this was part of like the Spanish American War, or excuse me, the Mexican American War. This was part of the territory that they lost, all the way up into like pretty much San Francisco, if I remember the map right. This wasn't part of the Louisiana Purchase, but anyways, as part of the Mexican American War, we ended up getting this way, and this city happened to be the first city that was built in Arizona that was American and not from one of the other from the Spanish colonizers. So that is I thought it was an interesting piece of history. So you've got the lake that fills up, and what he was telling me is that the junipers suck up so much water that they kind of had to start clearing it away from the uh, uh, from the lake, because what was it? It was sucking up so much water, it was drying the lake up too quick. So they had to clear cut and get a lot of these junipers out so that they could actually build up the lake. So the lake hasn't been doing very well, but it's been doing somewhat well. Mm. But after these last couple of rains, though, it's been really nice. So, North Carolina. Okay. What's up, DFH? Got to use what you're given. Okay. I think it means North Carolina. Yes. Um, oh, okay. Oh, okay. But you were saying in North Carolina. Oh, sorry. My brain put a Y in there. Okay, North Carolina. Oh, really? Well, are you in a big city, Mitch? Um, yeah, I'm just curious. Are you in a big city? Is that what causes it to go? But yeah, today wasn't really that eventful for me. Like I said, some days are really eventful and some days really aren't. Tomorrow I'm going to be working on. I want to start de-rocking this whole area out here. It really needs to. I want to be able to walk around without like rolling my ankles or anything else like that. So it's the whole state for wow. I've never heard, like in Oregon, you're allowed to burn, but only during certain times. And you have to like have a fire marshal inspect it before they let you burn. But Oregon has a big problem with wildfires. Out here, so I was told that you can bond the fire department for something around $100 a year, which isn't very bad. So I was trying to explain to my neighbors why they would want to do that and what the benefits were. So I'll explain it to you guys for those of you that are new that don't know much, haven't heard me talk about this. So essentially, Arizona was one of the last states to make this change, but When you get any type of utilities, whether it be, power, water, sewer, septic, trash, whatever you get that are public services, as soon as you get on the grid, it all of a sudden becomes communal property. Okay. And so I was born in Fayetteville, North Carolina. It has gotten pretty woke there lately. Wow. Okay. But anyways, so the thing is if you want to not give up rights to your property, because if it's communal property, that means the government gets to tell you what it is. And so that means in the modern era, you own the structure. Well, actually, the bank owns the structure, the government owns the land. And so that's how they're able to take it out from under you. That's the reason why they can even charge you tax. What's up, Tricky Dick? This is one of the reasons why they can even charge you property taxes to begin with, is because it's communal property. So therefore, it belongs to the state, and so therefore they are taxing you for the structure that you have on their land, because you're now getting public services, which therefore makes your property communal property. So how do you avoid that? Don't get public services. What that means is you're going to have to go to the police department, and you are going to have to bond them. That means you go to them and say, hey, look, I want to buy a bond. That way, if I ever have to have the police come out, they're bonded when they come to my property. That way you're paying for it out of pocket. And it gives you a lot more say when you have them bonded, versus just being part of communal property. Not only that, you'll have to do that with the fire department as well, because if you have a fire, you want them to come out, and if you haven't bonded them to come out, either by being, getting public utilities, therefore becoming communal property, or if it's your own and you don't want it to be communal property, then you're bonding the fire department, because if they ever have to come out, you want to make sure that they're covered, because they won't come out otherwise. So those are some things that you would have to do. But how would you be able to reflect this? On the city planner's map, your property will be a black dot on the map. That's because it's outside of their jurisdiction. Yeah, they've got the plot, but because it's private, it's not communal property, therefore they have no jurisdiction. They black it out. This is the way it was about 10-15 years ago. I presume that they still do the same thing, but things may have changed. But this is something that you will want to do if you are planning on if you're planning on like being truly independent. Yeah, again, you might even have to bond the ambulance company that comes out as well, because the ambulance company is a subcontractor to the hospital. So you would want to go directly to the ambulance instead of 911 dispatch or anything else like that. That way, if you have a private contract in place, that may also even give you priority pickup, because now they've got a private contract with you. It's just something that you can do that will kind of give you that freedom to know that you own what you own. And when they tell you you'll own nothing and be happy, you can say, ha ha, for everyone else but me. Okay. These are little things that you can do if you want to, kind of, not necessarily circumvent the system, but to be able to assert your rights within the system. Okay. So that is that's some things. What do you guys think? Sorry guys, I'm kind of a little okay. The whole state for trash. Well, okay, so Fayetteville, what's up? Okay, to change the name from Bragg to Fort Liberty. Um Fort Liberty from Fort Bragg. What Bragg Most of our bases are named after World War, or excuse me, not World War II generals, Revolutionary War generals. So that's kind of that's trying to erase the founders' history, because if you can slowly erode it to where nobody remembers it, and therefore the story becomes murky, because through technology, Meyer actually talks about this happening on his computer. He will sit there and he'll write something out, but then he'll come back to it later and the wording will be changed and he'll have to go back and change it back. So this is being done on a subtle level and can easily be done by AI. So therefore they can slowly erase our history so that we don't know what's really going on. Okay. This is one of the many dangers of artificial intelligence. I mean, it has a lot of upside, but there are some dangers. And because, like I was telling my neighbor today, the thing with AI is is you've got a piece of technology that's meant for a mature adult, and we as a society, as a species, are still in our infancy. We haven't really graduated or evolved enough to be able to handle this level of technology. So it's like giving a child a loaded weapon, and it's going to be naturally destructive. And is although it's a good thing, if it were implemented by a mature society, it at this point in time, it's not. It's going to really cause more problems than solve anything, because those that are still hungry for power and control now have a new tool that nobody will be able to circumvent, because that tool is going to be, what sifts through. So um we all know through Edward Snowden that the government collects data on us. Up until just recently, within the last 2 years, to be able to sift through that phone call, to sift through that camera footage, to sift through pictures, to break it down frame by frame. That way, you're not missing anything. The inspection of the visual material. Okay, that was done by hand and by a human. Okay, and you can only do so much. There was rumors that they were probably about 2 to 7 years behind on processing the data that they've collected on you and me and everybody else. Okay. So, with that being said, now you introduce AI. You introduce a large language model that its primary function is to comprise data, through sifting through all this information that they have, and it can do it, and it can do what takes you and me 6 months in less than 5 minutes, because of just the way that the program is written. And so now all of a sudden, what the infrastructure of the surveillance system that has been out here is now able to have its legs under it, because with the introduction of this new technology, because this has been government policy for a very long time, now they get to kick it into overdrive. Because I mean, just think about it, cause and effect. If you've got artificial intelligence that can sift through the data and tell you about all the different threat assessments, and find every single crime, which means now with artificial intelligence and the level of that it's at, to be able um to be able to compile data and process it, it just it's to a point to where we could stop every single crime. We could stop. We could convict, and get eyes on have actual visual evidence of crimes being committed in real time, because of the amount of data it's able to process. And so, therefore, instead of becoming just a proactive police force, which was an evolution from what they were, which is a reactive police force, to now they're going to be a preemptive police force. If you guys have seen, what's the movie called, where Minority Report, where they have my what is it? It's the pre-crime division is what they call it. And so with artificial intelligence, they now have they've already had the infrastructure in place. Now they have the necessary tools to put it into full on overdrive. So for those of you that are watching this, they changed Fort Hood to some. Oh wow, my old man retired from Fort Hood. But it's just it's this is the reality of the situation. So let's see here. Change the name from Bragg to Liberty. Tuck. I didn't know anything about that. Okay. They changed Fort Hood. Okay. Totally. Ken Wilber said that we're overgrown technically, but underdeveloped morally. Lisa, or Liza, even Peter, not Peter Diamandis. No, it was, oh God, I can't remember his name. He was the Google head of AI. And what's funny is Google has now come out with AI, while everybody else was sitting there like, oh, I'm first, no, I'm first, no, I'm first, no, I'm first. Google and Microsoft sat back and they let everybody else compete. And then they saw what the technology was, how to use it, how to make it more efficient, and how to be able to streamline it and turn it into a product. and now basically those guys have become the leader. And so you've got Microsoft, you've got Google, and you've got XAI that are the three major players. And so now you've got three ecosystems to go through. Do you want to be in the Google ecosystem, the Bill Gates Microsoft ecosystem, or the Elon Musk XAI ecosystem? And so you've kind of got to figure out where you want to be, because that's going to be what we see in the future, as far as like, how everything's going to evolve. People are moving away from Google searches now, and more people are starting to search using and find things using chat bots instead of like the Google search. And so that is changing the way that everything is going. And in about 3 years, you won't have a Google search engine. YouTube may not even be that viable in 3 years. YouTube may completely go away. So Google seems to record audio like wiretapping 24/7. Well, all of them do it. Google's just the one that's been caught. What is that? Let's see. Yeah, that's Tommy. Okay. Yeah, Google seems to have been just been caught, but they all do it. And some of it is because the technology or the product comes from China. Therefore, it gives not only the federal government the ability to spy on you, but it now gives you Chinese government, because just like the federal government requires backdoor coding so that they can get into any piece of software if they need to for any reason. That this is one thing that's required for all software companies, is that they have to give the federal government a backdoor entry into it if they ever want to go in there for any reason. And so China would do the same damn thing. Grok is more conversational, so that's what I use. Yeah, Grok, it seems to kind of be falling behind. I kind of go back and forth between Grok and OpenAI. OpenAI has basically put Canva out of business with the okay. So the thumbnail that I used yesterday, that was like, I asked OpenAI, because I'd watched a video on this saying that it had replaced Canva. So I said, here's what I'm doing, here's all the parameters and everything else like that. Help me make a viral thumbnail. So it has me come out, take a picture of my trailer, upload it, and then it provided me with that. Okay. And so now you don't, as a creator, if you're good at talking to the chat bot, and you know what questions to ask and how deep to go, then all of a sudden it becomes like the super tool, because it's giving me stuff that I would have had to pay like $20 a thumbnail for, or even $10 a thumbnail for. And and because I tell it what everything is about and what it is that I'm trying to accomplish, it creates it for me. You realize that just put like, if you go on Fiverr, you know how many people survive off of making thumbnails in the creator economy, especially for big people, because it's like $25 for 10 thumbnails. And those are people from India, where $25 to them is like $250 to us. Yes, it was, and that was all done using OpenAI, using ChatGPT. And there's some other stuff in ChatGPT that I want to get to know. Google right now, with their artificial intelligence, they have the best. If you can either upload a script, you can upload a voiceover, or you can upload oh you can upload whatever media you need to. But the thing is it will actually make a full on, if you want it to make a movie for you. So you decide you want to be funny and crazy, you sit back and you smoke a few bowls, right? And you're like, "Oh, I want a story about, a chipmunk that goes off to market and then, has to sell his nuts." And throw some funny and some humor things in there to kind of like give it the storyline, and then it's going to create you like a 15-minute to 1 hour video that you can sit back and watch. You created it, it's your own amusement. I know Bucknut would use that. Bucknut would probably stop watching YouTube if he got a hold of that. Mm. What do you think, Bucknut? Would you stop watching YouTube if you could sit there and do that? I'm curious. But that's the thing. That's the thing with that's the thing with AI. It is moving so fast that people, between the trade war and between the AI arms race between the United States and China, I think that the trade war, in a way, is a spillover of the AI arms race with China. Um, you know what? They just released it. Oh, I've got your there's I will send you a video that I can find on it, Mitch. I will send it to you through Patreon. I'll send you a link for it. But yeah, Google Rafidi was the first one to talk about it because he got to demo it. And just like a week or two ago, Google just finally did the release. Now it may not be in full on public view, but it's Google's done the release. And so yeah, they I don't know if it's behind a paywall or if it's open to the public for free. But right now, the if like one of the things as a creator, if you can get, because like, okay, you realize this will completely destroy another segment of the creator economy. This is what artificial intelligence will do, because not only does it mean that I have to be more competitive because now I'm creating with a computer that can make a better video than I can, but now also on that same thing, so I have on certain sites, because I've taken B-roll throughout time, taken pictures, and I put them up there on one of those leasing sites where you can go and buy like picture assets, video assets, stuff like that. I've never sold any of them that I know of, but I never really check it either. I just figure one day if I get a deposit and I see come from Shutterstock, then it'll work. But here's the kicker. If AI now is creating B-roll, and this is when I first started hearing about it, and then it was Google that was doing it. It was Rafidi. No, Scott Simpson is his channel name. Go look up Scott Simpson, Simson. That will probably be he was one of the ones talking about it, but he talked about it about maybe a month or two ago. He was one of the first ones that I started hearing about that from. Let's see. Thanks. Google will do that. How do I? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, right now they've gotten the technology and they've reached a stopping point where, okay, large language models have reached their peak, and now what needs to happen is they need to create a whole new language that will allow it to reason, and to be able to compute data in the same way that the human mind is. So if you've ever been in any IT field, you will know that if you look at the way like a network infrastructure is set up and the way that it's named and the way that it's thought out, it's almost like a neural network. And so it's just the when they can get reasoning that's going to be that good, they're going to have to come up with a whole new language. It's like all of a sudden overnight everybody went, oh yeah, LLMs suck, they're all last year's news. Do you know what's messed up, Tuck? People are using 100% AI to make videos and get a lot of views. That's not true, Chris. You have to have some creative element in it to be able to be able to maintain it. Because there's a guy on he's the vidIQ video editor. He has one of his channels on vidIQ. Okay, they have a lot of sub creators. Uh, but anyways, he created an AI agent that would come up with the video idea, come up with the thumbnail, create the thumbnail, write the script, make text to video, upload the video, schedule the video, do the SEO for it, and really like optimize it. And you want to know what? YouTube didn't give him any views for that. He actually got pushed down for doing that. And so if you do something like that where it's 100% AI, but see, the thing is, you as the human, you're coming up with the idea. And what AI should be doing, even if you're doing a text to video, which a lot of these people that look like it's doing AI to video, they're either using some high-end software or they're using animation and you think it's AI, because there's a guy out here, um he's got an avatar, but it's anime. It's not AI that I'm aware of. Now they just recently came out with AI avatars. Okay. Like that show Westworld, the next AI is going into full androids. Oh, it's already there. Interesting. I know zero of IT or AI issues. I plant trees. Clearly, I need to learn more. Just subscribe. Yeah, Liza. Something that here's okay. So the Department of Homeland Security. Okay, let me back up. So let me tell you why you should be concerned about artificial intelligence if you're not, why you should be paying attention to it if you're not. Okay, so what did Doge really do? Yes, it came in there and pulled out a little bit of waste and stuff like that. But what they actually did is they created a a government artificial intelligence system within the federal government. It's called GSAI. The I is lowercase. Okay, and as a government employee, you've got to go through GSAI, and therefore it's going to monitor you. And so, if there's legislation or anything like that passed or policy passed where they want to look at your loyalty, like who's loyal and who's not, well, it's already logging not only your keystrokes, but what you say, what you do anytime you're on one of their computers and logged into their network. That GSAI is coming through every single thing that you do. Not only that, they went and took every single American's records through the Social Security Administration, and they didn't just digitize it, it became data for artificial intelligence. And Elon Musk, while he was doing all of this, was creating a special artificial intelligence platform for the Department of Homeland Security. And what the Department of Homeland Security wants to do is they want to be able to keep track of dissidents, and they want to be able to keep track of what they call illegal aliens. Now, all they're telling everybody is that they want to do it for illegal aliens. Hi, Invisible. Nice to see you. But what they're not talking about is dissidents. So the Department of Homeland Security in November of last year started wanting to go and look out here in the open land where people like me live. We buy our own land and stuff like that. But if they decide that they want to start using regulation, because Donald Trump right now is asked the Department of Justice to work not only with the Department of Defense to see what the legalities are of using military force within the United States, which means they're expecting civil unrest over this trade war. And then the DOJ also being instructed to figure out how to use the laws to be able to better assist the homeless, which Donald Trump essentially wants the homeless thrown into internment camps. You can call them FEMA camps, you can call them internment camps, you can call them homeless camps, but you're going to be carted outside of a city. And so they're already looking to use law and policy. It doesn't matter whether it's Donald Trump or the next president. They are looking to use law and policy as a way to be able to to force you into these so-called mega cities that we've always heard about. And so therefore they have aerial drones that are going and looking out here. And they say that they're looking for illegal aliens until they decide that they need a new enemy, until they decide that the rural people are the issue. Or let's say, because it's a left versus right, the right tends to be in the rural area, the left tends to be in the dense cities. And so now all of a sudden you have these liberal cities or liberal governments that are coming in there and using these drones as a way to come after the average person out here in rural America, because they now see you as a threat, because we're already in the middle of a soft civil war. That's what I talked about last week. And this week we're talking about the engineered economic collapse. And I got to finish those videos this weekend. But that is why you should be paying attention to artificial intelligence. It is moving to a point, and there are enough bad actors in play in bad spots. And also, it just leaves the door open for other bad actors in the future. And this is why we should not have artificial intelligence, not because, oh, we need to go back to the simple ways. No, we're just not mature enough to be able to handle this technology. It's already being proven in the policies in which our government is already doing. Okay. This is why being somebody that lives out here and an off-gridder, being rural, you are now the new Minutemen in the next revolution, because we are going to be the next target. Because if you have people spread out, then you don't have the ability to control them. So they will squeeze you out through the supply chain. They will squeeze you out through regulations. They will squeeze you out through taxes. They will squeeze you out through harassment. Okay, there are so many different ways and so many different tools the government has, without actually creating a judicial order to actually compel you to do what it is that they want you to do. Okay, that's why you need to be paying attention to what's going on. Okay. Okay, I want to create an AI brand like Spinal Tap. That would be cool. One of the things that you should do, if you have either any intent in learning programming, because you don't want AI to redo the programming for you. Okay, but if you have a programming knowledge or background, right now everything is open source. That means DeepSeek, that means Grok, everybody except for OpenAI is open source. OpenAI is the only one to say, no, we're not going to share our stuff. Okay. Everybody else is doing it. The Chinese and every other American company is doing it. So that means you can go and get that open source code, put it off in I would literally put it in a thumb drive that is not going to be connected to something, or even a a storage device or something along those lines to hold it. And I would probably be using something like Linux to like Debian, and go in there and actually start working on creating an ethical artificial intelligence, because you're going to see the cause and effect. So you're going to understand where the errors in the code is, where the errors in reasoning is. So therefore you may be able to create something in the future to combat this for the next man. Because I think, although they say that the next world war after this one will be fought with sticks and stones, I think that it will be fought with technology and control, because they're going to figure out a way to preserve it, so that when they can reestablish peace and prosperity, that they can reinstitute this global set of control. So the elites are already building underground bunkers. There's plenty of reports, plenty of people that are talking about it. Get this man an air conditioner. Wow. Okay. Sounds groovy. Okay. But yeah, it just that's the end result of what's coming. So do you think that, oh yes, we're gonna go to sticks and stones? No, they're gonna preserve this technology, because when they rebuild society from the ashes, which is the ultimate plan to begin with, that they get to build it the way they want it, and they already have the program pre-done. Okay. I think that war will be pushed off for as long as it possibly can. But what Donald Trump is doing with China is escalating things, whether we realize it or not. There's speculation that, but Scott Bessent went to Switzerland to meet China while it was touring Europe, to meet with Xi Jinping. So did Scott Bessent go with Donald Trump's blessing, or is this the beginning of the rift between Donald Trump and Scott Bessent? Okay, because everybody sees the writing on the wall of what happens if this trade war goes on for too long. The American people, because we've been so spoiled, so used to being able to have whatever it is we want and complain about it, that we're not grateful for even the small little things that we have. And so therefore, this small little amount of pain, we will be willing to sell our children down the river. What's up, Cynthia? Okay, yeah, usually about 30 minutes into this, because very rare, like my watch time's like 10 or 15 minutes on these long forms. But yeah, usually about 30 minutes into it, I smoke. That way YouTube doesn't demonetize me, because my morning videos have been getting demonetized lately. But tomorrow's morning video, so if you're new here and you're a new subscriber, tomorrow is going to be the last day that I have my morning live stream over on Patreon, where it's for free members, because there's a free membership over there, then there's a paid members. Starting next week, 3 days a week, I will be doing a behind the scenes uncensored live stream over on Patreon, and then 2 days a week I'll do it over here in the mornings. It's $5 for the membership. It's the Rebel Watcher is what will get you access to the morning live streams if you want to see those in the morning. But yeah, usually I kind of get a little uncensored, and kind of this will probably get demonetized too. Because I've I've literally with YouTube, you guys have seen me, like, after 6 seconds I drop an F-bomb. I've smoked cigarettes on it. I'm kind of like testing the boundaries to see what I can do, what I can't do, what's going to throttle me, what's not going to throttle me. And it's not really it's the information. It's not what you say, it's the information that you're putting out. That is really what they're getting upset about. So a lot of these companies, even though Donald Trump has said US government policy is no longer ESG, well, yeah, that's while he's in office. As soon as he's out of office, they're going to re-institute ESG, and so these companies are going to go right back to that same thing. And so now they're already starting to be prepared, so that they are already in a line, because them even being able to get loans from banks, which the banks is regulated by the federal government, but it is not, the banks are autonomous, because it all goes through the Federal Reserve. And so these banks are requiring ESG standards. So it doesn't matter that the federal government isn't requiring ESG standards. The banks are still requiring ESG standards for these companies to get loans. Okay. And so did ESG go away? No, it did not. It will never go away. It is here, and it is here to stay. And the social credit system will probably be based upon ESG. So you better watch what you say in public moving forward, unless you create a system around you that will allow you to speak openly, to speak freely, and not to pay the penalties that they want. Like, I mean, you see what they did to Alex Jones. You realize Alex Jones was still able to withstand that, because he built a network outside of the system that was able to withstand the pounding of the system. Regardless of everything that they did to him, that man's still standing. He is, whether you like him or not. I like the new Alex Jones. I don't like the old Alex Jones. But the new Alex Jones is much better. He's less of a fearmonger and all that other stuff, but he still talks. And I think that he is if you want to be somebody that speaks freely and wants to be able to be that beacon of just uncensored truth, even if it's not really against the system may not like it anyways, just because it gives people hope. Well, actually, you know what? You give a man hope, he'll endure anything. You take his hope away, and he gives up. That's the reality of it. So, like, do they give you hope, or do they not? They want to give you a little bit of hope, but not enough to make you, not enough to motivate you. Okay. And that's kind of how it's being dropped down. Everything we see in public now is being engineered for us, whether it be the information that the content creator goes and researches, whether he's using Google, which is now using AI as a background, whether it be using ChatGPT or Grok or Copilot, or any of those. The information that we're getting is what the programmers of artificial intelligence, which is these tech giants in the Silicon Valley, have decided what you and I are able to see. And their woke ideology and their woke agenda, and the way that they've been trained in their life, is playing into the way that that the programming and the coding was done. AI itself is not the problem. The problem is the people who are programming it, because the baggage that they're carrying with them, the emotional imbalance, the quest for greed and power, or for safety and security, and certain things play into the ideology of how the code is being written. And so therefore, unintentionally, that therefore creates the direction. And so for the Silicon elites, if you know how they think, then you understand the underlying ideology that's going into every single one of these artificial intelligence chatbots. But here's another thing: because Elon Musk has switched away from the Democrats over to the Republican side, Uh, he he now becomes like Rumble or Truth Social to the right. So most people on the right are going to go over to XAI and going to go over to Grok and stuff like that. People on the left are probably going to go over to ChatGPT and Microsoft, or they're going to go over to one of the other competitors that are going to be building. He's busy. Okay. Is all annoying. What's up, Grace? AI is all knowing and infallible, and AI loves you. Yeah, that's true. That's okay. No need to talk to respond to me. How is everybody else doing? Okay, truth. Okay, Matrix agents are upset for me sharing the truth. Yeah, well, they don't want it out because again, they waited 4 years to arrest me. Guy for the Hillary meme. Um, oh wow, 4 years, huh? Thank you for being realistically sincere, cynical. Yeah, well, you can't just blindly trust anything. You've got to realize that it is neither good nor bad. It's how you use it and what your come from is. So okay. I want to create an AI brand. Okay, so what? Did I miss somebody? Tuck is not ignoring us. He is busy. Um did somebody think I was ignoring? I didn't see that. Say, okay, Chris, how are you? I hope the days are a little bit better than. Yeah, because so sometimes, okay, so I have the replay crew that watches this, and one of the things that I get from the replay crew that have talked to me is they like that when I start talking on a subject, that I spit out everything I want to say on that subject and then go into the audience and interact with you guys. And so although I'm trying to work with you guys here live, I've also, like some of you guys are live, some of you guys are part of the replay crew, and so to kind of like benefit the masses, this is that's kind of why I do it that way. It's not that I'm ignoring any of you guys or anything else like that. It's just I got to look away from the camera because every time I see a new chat up there, I want to be able to I want to be able to respond to it, and I'm not. I need to finish my thought so that I can therefore respond to it. But then, yeah, but you guys notice I go through and check chats, and if you want to be able to if you want to be able to sit back and make sure that I get your comment, make sure that you put it in all caps. It's easier for me to suss out because there's a lot of side conversation that goes on. So a cult doing okay, but okay. Yeah, so like, yeah, Chris is having a side conversation, so he's not doing it in all caps. But if you see up here, Beth is saying, what she wants me to read, she's putting in all caps. It makes it easier that way. You guys, because I mean, this is a community. This is our little fireside chat, whatever you want to call it. But this is our little community powwow. All right. Mm. So for our snowflake crowd, for those of you that can't read it, damn. Okay. It says feelings aren't facts. Mm. Honestly, sometimes I wonder if I piss off some of the snowflakes in here. I don't think that there's any snowflakes that come in, but some of them. Well, no, I've actually had a few. I had one person go, I didn't know you liked Trump, and I'm unsubscribing. It's like, bye. I don't care about Trump, but bye. Uh, Cynthia new here. Yeah, I think I may have seen her once or twice. Um, so some people just don't pop in too much. Yeah, I'm starting to gain a little bit larger of a female crowd. Normally it was like almost 90% male. Now it's getting up to about almost down to almost 80% male. So maybe it's the trim in the beard. What do you think? But yeah, it was a nice day today. Um uh oh, okay. Okay. I don't know who's that. I don't know if that's, but whatever. Whew, take a deep breath. So sometimes I gotta take a deep breath just so I can catch up. My brain can catch up to my mouth. Um, yeah. Well, once I trimmed the beard, I started like thinking, man, you know what? I might go gay for myself, especially after I've combed it after a nice shower. I mean, it needs to be trimmed up a little bit. I got to get me some guards for the for my hedge trimmers, so that I can just trim it one length, and then that way it can get rid of some of this stuff here that needs to come out, because some of this has never been cut, and this part here is kind of what I cut back, and I tried to cut back here on the sides a little bit, because yeah, my beard was starting to look gnarly. I have beard oils. I have beard oils. I brush my beard with this. Yeah, so after I get out of the shower, I definitely make sure to use this. I can't find my comb. My comb has come up missing somewhere. Don't know where it went. It was kind of a real. That's when I decided to start cutting my hair, because I would every time I would comb it, there was so many tangled knots. I was like, no, 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 I can't do this. The only way I could get it untangled was to go take a shower. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not horsehair, it's something else. But yeah, it was part of a kit that I bought. Uh, what did I do? Um, uh, okay. So yeah, this is it was like 20 bucks for the kit. And it even came with a pair of scissors, which are right here, because I wanted the scissors so that I could do my beard and I didn't want to deal with anything electric. So it came with this, it came with the comb, it came with this beard oil, it came with some balm and some other stuff, which I've never used. I've used the oil, but since I don't have the comb, I haven't used the oil. Let's see. Do you hang outside after dark? There, here in the city, I'm inside once dark comes. Um, as soon as the sun starts to go down, you start hearing the yipping of the coyotes, and the cougars going to start coming out. Not the cute ones. We're talking about the scary ones. Um, you know, the cougars come out, and so therefore, yeah, because there's like, if you go about a half a mile to a mile about that way towards my neighbor's house, um you will there's apparently a cougar that hangs out there, and the coyotes have come over there. That remember, I showed you guys my neighbor's fence that gotten broke down by the coyotes, and so just reminding you guys that if you live in an area, be careful, because the coyotes will tear down your fence. So, um, okay, you all have a wonderful night. You too, Chris. Chris, my friend, please do your best. Take care. All right, Chris, man, I'm glad to see you tonight, man. Keep coming back. So, okay. But yeah, no, I don't really hang out outside after dark. Usually when it gets dark, I don't want to be outside. If I lived there, I could hunt. Uh yeah, if you wanted to hunt the coyotes, you could. If you wanted to hunt the cougars, you could. I'd recommend getting a mastiff though. If you're going to do something like that out here, that way you have protection in case, something happens with your rifle. Yeah, your wife. Okay. Coy dogs will get your outdoor animals quickly. Yeah. Yeah, the coyotes, they would, yeah, but and apparently now the snakes started coming out, which makes sense because of the rain. So now I'm not going to leave Sam outside, chained to her leash. I'm gonna have to leave her inside here. But I mean, I've got all the windows open, so it looks like it's pretty calm out there. But it is what it is. Okay. But wait. Mm. All right, guys. So we are coming up to the 2 minute warning, we'll call it. So in about 2 to 3 minutes or so, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna close this out. We usually go for about an hour every night. For those of you that are new here that would like to show up and be here, we start at 8 Eastern, and because I'm in Arizona time, my time zone switches. Like I'm on Pacific time now, and then when the fall comes, I'll be on Mountain time. So Arizona doesn't do time zone, which I like. It makes it much easier. I didn't realize like how much better life is when you don't have yeah. But anyways, 8 p.m. Eastern, and then if you want to be a part of the morning live streams, you're gonna want to start looking at coming over to Patreon. If you want to see them, if you want to be able to see them every morning. So right now, 2 days a week, I will be doing 2 days a week. I'll be doing it public, just so that we can build an audience over there on Patreon. But at least like I'm gonna do it like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to do over on Patreon, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays are going to be public here. That way you guys have, yeah, that way I get a balance, because when we get to a point where I have about 20 people, watching over there, I'm going to, we're just going to do 5 days a week over on Patreon, because I need to have an uncensored place. Because if YouTube is going to demonetize me for doing, if YouTube's going to demonetize me for saying or doing some of the stuff that I'm doing, although I'm not bringing harm to anyone or misinforming anyone or anything along those lines, YouTube is still penalizing me. And so, either I have one of two choices. I can either let YouTube be my master, or my master will be my audience. And I'd prefer to have my audience as my master. So come on over, consider coming over to Patreon. And tomorrow evening, we're gonna be talking with my old man. At least that's the plan. I haven't reached out to him yet this week. Been really busy. But yeah, I talked with my old man. Him and I will be doing the human origins like we did last Friday. So that will be here this Friday. So anyways, guys, let me see if there's any last comments. Um, Fame is a vapor, popularity an accident, riches take wings. The only uh, earthly certainty is oblivion. Huh, that's a good quote. Okay. I've heard a lot about YouTube from creators lately. Yeah, well, there are so many gurus, and maybe back 10 years ago it was great, but the thing is it with anything, just like when the Federal Reserve first became, and post World War II, not only were we the manufacturing hub of the whole world because we were the only ones that didn't have destroyed factories, um, we had the boom. So the baby boomers and the great generation got all of the benefits, and then Gen X and millennials and Gen Z are the ones getting the downslide. So the first two generations get the upslide, the last three generations get the downslide, and that's just the way it is. And so, just yeah, YouTube, just like anything, it's better to get in early than get in late, and get in before it starts becoming popular. If you got in before 2015, you have probably a lot stronger audience connection than if you got started after, just because of the way that the algorithm works now versus then. Because it used to be people would subscribe to you, and then they would get, anytime you put up a video or anything else like that, it would get pushed out to you. Now you're lucky if 10% of your audience gets your views. So yeah, okay, I'm X and getting that shaft. Yes, well, most of us are Gen X in here. I'm the last of Gen X. He's heard of Colburn Bible. I will try and remember that, occult. All right, guys, thanks for being here, and I will see you on Patreon tomorrow morning.